28th of November 1987. It was a Saturday morning and I was at home. 7 o'clock in the morning my phone rang. It was my grandmother phoning from Durban. Michael, are you at home? I'm like, yes, I'm talking to you on the phone, aren't I? Have you seen on TV, one of your planes is missing? I said, Gran, missing? A 747 doesn't go missing. It's either behind a mountain or it's underwater. Those were my words. Little did I know that it was, at that point, underwater, hey? And the fact that I knew each and every person on it makes it even harder for me to tell.
Mauritius, Springbok 295.
Springbok 295. Mauritius, good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning. We have a smoke problem and we're doing emergency descent to level 140.
Confirm you wish to descend to flight level 140?
Yeah, we have already commenced due to a smoke problem in the airplane.
Roger, you are clear to descend. You need leave to flight level 140.
Martha and Dave, the first officer, she was working upper deck because she enjoyed serving the cockpit. They'd gone to Taipei that week. They were preparing for their wedding. She went for a fitting, her wedding dress, and they were so excited. They were coming back, planning their wedding. She'd had her wedding dress fitted just the day before in Taiwan, and she went down on the Helderberg. I flew the very next day after the Helderberg went down. I was booked to work a flight that night to Frankfurt, Germany. The Helderberg went down on the Saturday morning and I flew the Sunday night to Germany, to Frankfurt. I worked business class. I was handing out the Sunday Times newspaper. On the front page of that newspaper was a picture of the Helderberg, and the journalist had written, "The tomb in which they died," under this picture of an aeroplane. I was giving it to you, my business class passenger, and telling you to have a good flight. In 1980, I was 22 years old when I applied to South African Airways as a flight attendant and was blessed to get the job. I flew through the 80s, through the 90s, through the 2000s and even the 2010s. I stuck it out for 40 years. I remember serving President Nelson Mandela in 1995 on this aeroplane that we are on today, the 747 called Lebombo. He was sitting in first class in 1A with his secretary Zelda Lagranja, and we were going over to New York City. He was on his way to meet President Bill Clinton. And yes, I remember asking him, "President Mandela, what would you like to drink with your hot meal today?" And he said, "Michael, how about a sweet wine?" And I said, "Sir, you know, in our first class we only have dry wines, but I'm going to take a walk to our economy and see what they've got." And luckily enough, back here in economy, they had a little bottle of Nederburg Stein, which is semi-sweet. I took that to him, poured him a glass, and he enjoyed it. He just had one. He also had rice with chicken for dinner, and I remember him having a sweet sherry after dinner. He liked his sweet wines. In 94, when the World Health Organization took smoking off aircrafts, that was a difficult time to contend with. Your passenger, after a few drinks, would want a cigarette, hey? And it was tough in the beginning. I remember going to London, a passenger saying to me, "Oh, Michael, I know how to smoke in the toilet. I'm a fireman from Newlands." When I opened that door, he was standing with one foot on the toilet lid and a cup over the smoke detector on the ceiling. He got such a fright, he dropped his stompie and I grabbed it, took it to the captain. Oh, I felt a bit sorry for him after that. We landed at Heathrow. 3 policemen boarded and frog marched him off the plane. Shame. Working on board the plane is hard work. A lot of people don't realize it. That same air hostess with those long red nails has to go and clean a toilet. Often passengers will vomit in a basin, and who do you think gets to clean it? That air hostess with the long red nails. When I started in 1980, I signed a 2-year contract. and I ended up spending 40 years. So yes, it is an awesome life, and if I was born tomorrow, I'd do it again. No regrets, no regrets. But do learn to discipline yourself. Discipline yourself to get sufficient rest and eat properly.